You are listening to the Fantasy Football Friends Forever podcast. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button, and make sure to turn on the notifications. All right, welcome back to another episode of Fantasy Football Friends Forever. Mad Max here alongside Pistol Pete. Today we will be breaking down the AFC West offseason moves. First things first, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, help support this channel. We got some great content coming to you guys the next 4 weeks. Every week we're going to break down 2 divisions, all the offseason moves they've made, coaching changes, all in one place just for you guys. We're going to lead off with the Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Not a lot has really changed about the Chiefs, I would say, going from last year to this year, which I don't really think is that big of a problem, I would say. I mean, but they've brought back pretty much their entire offense.
Yeah, I mean, besides Rashard Breeland having a little
incident, that is some new news.
Breaking news.
Yeah, that's not ideal, but it's the NFL, so he'll probably be all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and lead off with some new signings. We did address a little bit of the offensive line. We signed a guy named Mike Remmers, offensive tackle. Pro Football Focus had him graded out overall of a 64, so he's pretty pedestrian, I would say, but it does add a little depth to that offensive line. It is aging with Mitchell Schwartz, and then we'll get to it, drafted one. We signed a cornerback, Antonio Hamilton, graded out at a 67.5. He was graded out on a pass rush of 91.5. So that, to me, he's like a blitzing corner is what it seems like to me. And with Spagnuolo, I'm pretty excited about that. As far as our cornerback play goes.
Spags did great.
He's going to dial up.
Oh, yeah, he'll dial it up. And the defense, the Chiefs, the defense doesn't have to be lights out.
Yeah.
I think average is just good enough.
I'm just glad we're addressing it.
Yeah, you're not just sitting on your hands. You're still making some moves. But like you said, you bring back almost everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna be locked and loaded. We did pick up a tight end. We signed Ricky Seals-Jones to a contract. He's not a receiving tight end. Some people would think he's a receiving tight end. That's kind of what he's been his entire career. But he got graded out at 78 for pass block. So solid. I'm kind of looking at it that's going to be our second tight end. Kelsey's the receiving tight end. I think Ricky Seals-Jones is that guy that's going to kind of be the pass blocking tight end. I don't know how much he's going to be in games, to be honest, though.
Yeah, he's just a good. Heaven forbid something happens to Travis Kelce. It's always good to have depth.
And then obviously DeAndre Washington, who I liked. When we initially signed him, he was one of those sleeper backs that I'm targeting him in a draft because I believe in that talent. And Pro Football Focus had him rated overall as a 76, which is pretty average to above average. But his receiving grade was an 80.
Oh yeah.
So he is solid. They eventually I think we can jump into the draft.
Yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I've been hyping all offseason to anybody that'll listen. I love this guy.
Well, then you were really happy with it.
Oh, my gosh. I was geeking when we picked him.
He's a stud out of the backfield catching the ball. He can run it, too. The guy just built like a Mack truck, though.
Dude, he's 5'7", 207.
Yeah, he's got some girth to him.
He's a stud, man. And he reminds me out of the backfield, Christian McCaffrey. His route running, you call me crazy. I'm telling you, this guy's catching 80 passes this year. 80. He's catching 80 passes. I'm telling you. Love me some Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Maybe another day. Not for that. We're not making bets. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, though, love that. You're just adding another offensive weapon to an already potent offense, in my opinion. And it's the one thing where we really weren't that good at. Damian Williams was very average to below average. And so you add in a dynamic playmaker like Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of the backfield.
It's just another guy that defense has to account for. The guy on third down is just going to be – he's going to be electric. And honestly, I could see him leading that team in snaps out of the backfield like by week 8.
So we took him in the first round, and then in the second round we got Willie Gay out of Mississippi State. He's a 99th percentile athlete as far as speed score goes. Like, guy ran a 4.46 40.
It's all just character issues with him.
Yeah,
That's all it was.
I love it.
Like,
give me the character issues.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Andy Reid's like the perfect coach for those guys too. Like he coached T.O.
Supposedly he punched that dude in the face.
Yeah, his backup quarterback.
That's hilarious. Some things I saw like out of Willie Gay is he's really good at wrapping up tackles. So I think like he's gonna be a sideline to sideline linebacker, good tackler. He can play zone coverage, which like Spags is gonna sprinkle that in. So I think he's a very good fit. Some weaknesses I saw is he doesn't take on blocks. Like if a lineman comes to block him, he gets blocked. Like he's never shedding the block, which is not ideal.
Yeah,
I would say.
Well, I think it's still an upgrade. That linebacker position
was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good to be kind.
You gotta. I love seeing us address it. We picked up an offensive tackle, Lucas Niang out of TCU. He's like your prototypical size. He's like 6'7", 280. Like, and they had him as an elite pass blocking right tackle. And I pretty much he's gonna be sitting a year, I think.
That's
and
good.
Mitchell Schwartz.
Schwartz still a stud.
Yeah, but I think he's Schwartz's replacement. Like Schwartz is coming to the end.
Yeah,
I think
he is, but I mean, I think they can get one more year out of him. Like
yeah. So we added two offensive linemen. Gotta love that. And then in the fourth round, we took L'Jarius Sneed out of Louisiana Tech. He runs a 4.38 40. Guy's just an athlete out there. He played safety though, and supposedly he's going to transition to cornerback for us. So, kind of some exciting moves there. As far as fantasy goes, Mahomes obviously QB1. Like, I'm probably not going to have him in any leagues, but
he's going first round in Kansas City leagues.
Yeah,
in a lot of them.
He might. Yeah.
Here and locally, I guarantee most leagues.
Probably won't have him, but
I just never take a quarterback round.
Yeah. You got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. What's your initial reactions? Like, where are you even gonna thinking about taking him or what?
Oh, I'm in one of my leagues is a rookie keeper league.
Yeah.
So he's flying off the board.
Oh yeah. But in a redraft, so let's say redraft, where do you?
I mean, I'm taking him. I'm still taking him late. Like
late? What's late mean?
I mean, there's some other backs I like in this draft class.
Do you want to know where I'm taking Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Where?
Don't make me take him in the third round. He might shoot up the draft board, and I will take him in the third round if I have to, and maybe earlier. We'll see where the.
Oh man,
dude, I love me some Edwards-Helaire.
That's a lot of love.
It's Andy Reid backs.
So you're hoping he's Brian Westbrook in Philly.
Dude, Veach literally told Andy Reid, go watch this kid, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and let me know what you think. He goes, I think he's got a lot of Brian Westbrook in him.
Brian Westbrook was a stud.
You know what Andy Reid said back to Brett Veach? He goes, yeah, I like him. He's better than Brian Westbrook.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Brian Westbrook, take him in the third.
So then, at your receiving core, you got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, obviously. They're going to be top picks in the draft. Sammy Watkins, McCole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson. You like any of those guys?
Always hate Sammy Watkins. I don't care where he's at. I'm just not taking the guy.
I'm probably fading everybody else. As far as year-long fantasy football, daily fantasy, obviously, I think McCole Hardman and all that.
Yeah.
Because he plays with Patrick Mahomes. So on a daily fantasy level, they offer that upside, but on a week-to-week basis, outside of Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, I don't know who you can really trust.
I think McCole Hardman's a year away. I think once Sammy leaves.
Yeah, I think Sammy Watkins got to go so he can get on the field more.
Yeah. But yeah, all the other guys they're just high picks. That offense is just so explosive.
Next team I've got here, another team I'm really excited about, the Denver Broncos.
They did well.
They've got a new offensive coordinator. They brought in Pat Shurmur. He was the quarterback coach for McNabb on that Andy Reid team. He was the offensive coordinator for Chip Kelly's team. He was the tight end coach for the Vikings in 2016. That's kind of like, and then obviously he was the head coach of the Giants.
Yeah,
He's had some success, like, with quarterbacks, I would say. And so I think it's a good thing for Drew Lock, I would say.
I thought it was a great thing when I saw him take those receivers in the draft.
Well, I mean, and they got a new quarterback coach, Mike Shula, who came from New York. So, like, he was the QB coach at the Giants, came with Shermer. So he'll now be the quarterback's coach. He coached up Cam Newton from 2011 2015 for the Panthers. So Cam Newton's not good, and he made him look good. So I'm a hater on Cam Newton, and if you can make Cam Newton look good, they lost Chris Harris.
Yeah, they did.
So they lost Chris Harris. Yeah. I love what the Broncos did. I think the Broncos are going to really compete. They acquired A.J. Boye, Jarrell Casey. Like, both of those guys.
Those guys are good.
Both of those guys are really good. And then they signed Graham Glasgow again. So he's a stud. Graded 74 overall by Pro Football Focus. So very solid offensive lineman. And then obviously the addition of Melvin Gordon. So that's kind of like their offseason transactions. Like, the Melvin Gordon thing was kind of interesting.
I hate that backfield. Fading it.
You're fading the entire backfield?
Phillip Lindsay, Melvin Gordon, Royce Freeman, I just think it's a...
Well, I think Freeman is just I don't think Freeman's even going to be a part of it.
I just almost see it like an Austin Eckler, Melvin Gordon thing for him with Phillip Lindsay. Like, Phillip Lindsay's talented. I mean, I don't think Melvin Gordon's ever going to be the guy he was a few years ago.
Phillip Lindsay doesn't pass block. That's the problem.
The guy was still a stud his rookie year, though.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, you're running an NFL team. And so, like, when you bring in Melvin Gordon, that's just telling me, like, Melvin Gordon's going to be the guy, in my opinion. And then Phillip Lindsay will be a complimentary role. He's a playmaker. Like, he'll get on the field like Eckler, But I think Melvin Gordon is the back two own.
He's the back two own, but I'm just not taking him high. Like, I'm just not.
I like Melvin Gordon.
He's my, if Melvin Gordon's my RB2.
You're not liking Melvin Gordon as your RB2?
I like him as my flex.
Wow. All right, on to the draft real quick. We'll finish talking about this. So they drafted Jerry Jeudy, drafted KJ Hamler, first two picks. You got to love that.
I love those picks.
Well, like, you got Cortland Sutton outside. You got KJ Hamler, who's like the Marquise Brown, who's going to run outside.
Fly.
Guy just reminds me so much of Marquise Brown. And then Jerry Jeudy coming out of the slot.
Jerry Jeudy is a stud, too. He reminds me of I know they both went to the same school, but him and Calvin Ridley are, like, eerily similar.
Yeah.
I like Jerry Jeudy.
I like that. Then you got Noah Fant. So I love that that offensive core is really good. Some other additions in the draft. They ended up with a guy, Michael Obadiah, out of Iowa, cornerback, zone corner is what I've got noted here. They drafted a center and a D lineman. So, I mean, I think overall what I'm saying, like, I think the Broncos got a lot better this offseason.
I think they did get a lot better. Their win projection was 7.5. So, I mean, could I see them finishing 9-7? That'd be like a hell of a year, I think. Honestly.
I think they could push for a wild card.
That'd be a really good year.
Expanded playoffs now?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I like what they did. I just hope, Drew Lock, obviously, hometown kid. Like, I'm rooting for the guy. So, he's definitely got weapons.
So you got, as far as fantasy, guys I got wrote down, Drew Lock, Cortland Sutton, Jeudy. Then you've got Gordon, Lindsay, Hamler, Fant. Out of those guys, do you like anybody?
I had Cortland Sutton on some rosters last year. Guy was just a monster. Like, I don't think he's going to get as many targets just because they've added so many guys. But I like Cortland Sutton still. I like Jerry Jeudy, too.
I still think he's going to get a lot of targets. I think things are going to open up, and, like, Cortland Sutton was the only weapon on that team. Outside of Fant.
Yeah, he was the only guy.
But, like, wide receiver-wise, he was getting a lot of coverage. So it's like, you had some speed on the other side in Hamler, and then Jeudy in the middle of the field, like...
Honestly, I think Cortland Sutton, though, not sneaking up on anybody. He's gonna get more like help over the top. I think they're gonna make Noah Fant prove something.
I love Drew Lock this year.
Love Drew Lock.
Love Drew Lock this year. Yeah.
Like you're gonna
Draft him. Yeah.
as your QB1.
Well, no, I don't have to draft him as my QB1. That's
I
why I love him. Like, I can literally draft a quarterback and then draft Drew Lock.
And just stash him?
And just stash him.
Oh, man. I don't know if I love Drew Lock. I got to see more.
I've seen enough. Like, the weapon, like, that offense is just going to be legit. The offensive line's good in Denver. You've got 3 legit, to me, wide receivers. I think Sutton, Judy, Hamler is a very good receiving core. You got Gordon and Lindsey out of the backfield. You got Noah Fant. Like, I see a potent offense.
I think he's going to take a step forward. I mean, I think they're... I don't know.
I think Drew Lock's going to be a top 10 quarterback in fantasy. With top 5 upside.
This next year?
This next year, yeah.
We're gonna have to make some bets because that's just there's no way.
That'll be another podcast. We'll make some bets on a podcast. Don't worry. Next team, I've got the Oakland Raiders.
Oh god.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan of what they did. They lost Carl Joseph, a safety, pretty solid safety. They signed Corey Littleton from the Rams.
No.
Guy was graded out pretty solid.
He was a stud.
Yeah. And then they replaced Carl Joseph with Demarius Randall. So, I mean, kind of a push there.
Former Packer.
Re-signed Richie Incognito, solid offensive lineman. Dude, they were like literally changing their entire roster this offseason. They added Witten, Mariota, Nelson Aguilar. Like, what are they doing?
I forgot they even added Jason Witten.
What are they doing?
Crazy. I forgot about that. I don't know what they're doing.
All those guys suck.
I mean, their draft was just as bad.
Yeah, okay, so we'll get to the draft now. They took Henry Ruggs over every other receiver on the board.
Typical Raiders thing. They just fall in love with that 40. They just
Henry Ruggs is a stud. Like, don't get me wrong. I really like Henry Ruggs. But you're literally talking about CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy, in my opinion, who are just round 1 wide receivers, like top 15 picks. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't think Henry Ruggs has. I don't think he's ever gonna live up to that draft status. Honestly,
he's just raw. Like,
he
didn't start playing football until he was like halfway through high school.
He's just raw, and a bunch of his touchdowns were just 10-yard slants taken to the house. Like,
he's got next level speed.
He does, but so did like Darius Hayward-Bay coming out. Like, there's a lot of receivers that just run that 40. John Ross, like, I've heard of a lot of guys with top level speed. I don't think he has like the route running.
I think he does though. I think he's got some route running too.
I think Jerry Judy's miles better than Henry Ruggs.
I would say that. I would say that's a fact. Yeah.
And I don't think
I'm not arguing that. I don't
saying
think
Jerry
it's
Jeudy can't
terrible.
fly.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad though.
They're gonna regret it.
They will regret that. They did address corner. They got the corner out of Ohio State, Arnett. Solid all around corner, but kind of a reach in my opinion.
Huge reach.
It's kind of a reach.
Huge reach.
Solid corner, second round or first round. Oh my god.
He was graded like a third rounder by a lot of people.
Yeah. Then dude, what are they doing? Lynn Bowden? Literally, I was looking up Lynn Bowden. I shit you not. I was looking up Lynn Bowden on Pro Football Focus. They didn't even have him ranked.
Who is Lynn Bowden?
He's out of Kentucky. He played like wide receiver, running back. He's 5'11", 204. I've got it noted as he's versatile. He can make some tough catches. Like, he's got good footwork. He's good in the open field. He's very shaky. But third round, of a guy that no one had heard of. Like, come on.
Those are starters a lot of the time. Like,
you're not the Patriots. And then they took another wide receiver in the third round, Brian Edwards out of South Carolina, 6'3", 212. I don't know have you heard of him?
Mm-mm.
I haven't heard of him either. I had to look him up. He's what I like. I kind of like him. He high points the ball really well. He makes a lot of really tough catches. Like he has some nasty tough like. But the thing is like he does those things well. But the thing, he doesn't separate. Like he's never open. You know what I mean? Like he's always covered. So, like when you get to the league, like you kind of got to get open.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're
Calvin Johnson or something.
Yeah, just like a freak.
But Calvin Johnson gets open.
Yeah, like
you know
a
what I mean?
flu. I mean,
so I'm really down on what the Raiders did. I mean, they've got so for fantasy wise, you've got Derek Carr, Mariota.
No.
You think who's winning the job?
I think Derek Carr is going to start out the year. But I could see he's going to have a really short leash. I mean, Gruden's done with him.
This team's terrible. Josh Jacobs.
My boy.
Are you drafting him?
Of course I'm drafting him. I'm keeping him in one league.
Are you excited about him?
I mean, if he can do what he did, I mean, he missed like 3 games last year. The guy still had over 1,000 yards. I just think he doesn't have a lot of tread on the tires. In Alabama, he didn't get a lot of carries. So like,
but they fed him and he got hurt.
Yeah, and that's fine. He was still a top 10 back.
So it's like, I don't know.
I got great. Last year, I got great value out of him.
I think Jacobs is nice, but I think he's going to get overdrafted this year.
I could see that. Like, I'm not taking him.
Second, third round.
I'll take him in the
third.
Yeah.
I would take him in the third. Second round, I can't buy in on second round. Not on a bad team. Like I just think this team's gonna be terrible. Because now, like for wide receivers, you've got Ruggs, Renfro, Tyrell Williams, Aguilar, and then that Edwards guy, Brian Edwards. Aguilar's trash. Renfro's never gonna be anything. Like Tyrell Williams is
hurt.
A wide receiver 2 at best. Like not even. I'm not talking wide receiver 2 in fantasy. I'm talking wide receiver 2 in the NFL at best. So like really, the only guy that interests me is Ruggs.
I just don't think Derek Carr never throws the deep ball.
Ruggs doesn't run deep routes. He runs underneath.
So I actually think Renfro is going to run underneath.
Well, he'll run out of slot. I think Ruggs could present some value. That's the only him and Waller. I think Waller will get overdrafted.
I still think Darren Waller's catching 85 balls because Derek Carr loves dumping it off.
Yeah,
like he just never takes shots downfield. And I
think Waller will be a solid tight end, but I don't think Waller is going to pay off more than what you pay for him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you're going to draft him at like tight end 5 or 6 or something, and he's going to be tight end 5 or 6. Which is cool.
Yeah, tight end's just so weak though. Like it's just so limited after you get past tight end 7 or 8. Like you're just
I would rather get Fant.
Yeah, I mean it just
a guy that catches the ball downfield. Like the thing about Waller, like you're saying, is like he's gonna catch a lot of passes, but they're like 6 yards.
But he's a PPR monster. He catches like 8 to 10 balls.
PPR league, he's solid.
I mean, that's what most leagues are these days.
He's getting 7 catches for 45 yards.
That's a lot more than a lot of tight ends.
Yeah. No, he's a solid tight end. I had Darren Waller. Like, I liked Darren Waller, but he doesn't really offer you any ceiling. He's like Jason Witten.
Yeah, but some of those tight ends' floors are real bad. Noah Fant that guy can go for 2 catches, 20 yards.
But I don't mind that.
I don't know. I don't like reaching. Like, I'm not going to pick Kelsey, Kittle, whatever. But I just think the separation, like Darren Waller, I'd rather have Darren Waller than Eric Ebron by a mile. Like,
it depends on when you draft. Like, if I'm getting Ebron in the 14th round.
You can have him.
Really?
You can have him. I think Darren Waller is going to crush. Like
you think he's going to crush?
I think he's going to do it like last year. Like, I was crushing.
I guess, like, for me, like
you're not taking him in the 7th round?
I would rather take Fant in, like, the 12th or 13th round than take Darren Waller in the 7th.
Yeah. I mean, to each their own. I just know Darren Waller is going to get the catches.
That's just I like taking late round tight ends. In one league, I took Ertz like in the 5th round or something, and I just regretted it.
Oh yeah. See, the top 3 I don't take.
I think it's just
like Kittle, Kelsey, Ertz. I never take them.
There's still good players in the 7th round too. Like, I normally like to just take a late round tight end and just kind of play with it from there, kind of find them. Like eventually, I think you'll find a tight end. Like there's normally like Mark Andrews last year, Darren Waller. Like there's always some guy that's gonna emerge onto the scene, in my opinion. I think it's Fant. I think Fant's a stud. And Gronk. Well, Gronk's probably gonna get overdrafted, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not touching him.
Next team we'll talk about is the L.A. Chargers. I had to think about that. Did I call the Raiders the Las Vegas Raiders?
I'm not sure. That's weird.
I think I just called them the Raiders.
Yeah.
Hopefully I just called them the Raiders. So for the Chargers, they brought in a new offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen. Very inexperienced. He's been with the Chargers. He's been like what they call an offensive quality control.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, that can't be exciting. Like, all right? And here's a laundry list of people they lost. Phillip Rivers, Melvin Gordon, Thomas Davis, Travis Benjamin, Adrian Phillips. They signed Brian Bulaga, which is a pretty good signing. They brought on Chris Harris. I think this defense would be pretty nasty.
Defense should be nasty.
So you got Bulaga they signed, bolster that offensive line. They brought in Chris Harris, re-signed Hunter Henry. They got in Linval Joseph, interior defensive lineman, pretty solid player. And then Nick Vigil will kind of take over Thomas Davis's role, very average linebacker. As far as the draft goes, they drafted Justin Herbert with their first pick. What are your thoughts?
I mean, you were talking about it earlier. I'm just not a huge Herbert fan either. I watched a lot of Oregon games too because they were always playing late, and he just didn't jump off the screen to me. I mean,
I don't like how he throws the ball.
In Oregon, they throw the ball a lot. I mean, it's.
But I don't like how he throws it. Like, I know he's got a really strong arm, but he kind of like when he throws the ball, it looks like he's really trying to throw the ball. Where it's like quarterbacks I like is where they're just like slinging it. You know, it's just like it looks so effortless.
Natural.
And with Herbert, it just looks like he's like. It's like got to put some oil on that elbow or something, get that thing loose, you know? Like, I don't know.
I was guessing they were going to take him, though. Like,
he's going to be a bust. I'll put money on it.
You know, I'm not going to bet on that one. But
clearly,
they were just never going to go with Tyrod Taylor, like, for the whole year.
No, Herbert's going to end up being the guy, and I don't even think Tyrod Taylor would get out of the preseason. Like, you draft Herbert that high, you have to roll with him.
Yeah, I agree with that. And he's got weapons, though.
Like, Tyrod Taylor is a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
How is he in the league? Like,
in the league
talk
a
about
long
this?
time.
How is he in the league? And then they drafted Kenneth Murray, nice little linebacker out of OU. I think he'll be solid. Like, I'm not in love with Kenneth Murray.
Yeah, I watched him in Oklahoma a few games, and I know the Big 12 is just bad defensively, so I think he stood out more just because, like, I can't even name another, like, great linebacker in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I think it's a lot more hype. And there's a reason he slid. I mean, were they taking, like, 20-something? I don't know.
It's first round.
Yeah.
Mid to late first round. I didn't write down the pick
They needed a linebacker. So, but I think that defense is going to be solid,
nasty.
Though.
And then I noted Josh Kelly just because it was their next pick, 4th round. So they didn't have a second or third rounder. They took Josh Kelly out of UCLA. Not a fan of Josh Kelly, I don't think. 4th round pick, not even like no one's really going to hype him up. So as far as the offense goes for fantasy football production, you got Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Justin Jackson, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry. Who do you like?
Oh, man.
Obviously, I don't like any of the quarterbacks. Like, I don't like Tyrod or Herbert.
I mean, I still like my boy.
Eckler?
I don't know if he's going to get overdrafted. He might. I'm not going to overdraft him.
I don't think he's going to get a lot of touchdowns, but I think he'll be a solid RB2.
I think he's going to get a lot of dump-off passes again.
Yeah.
I can see Herbert or Taylor just dumping it off to him.
I think he'll be a solid RB2. but I think where's he going? Like
that's the thing. I don't know.
Is he going top 10 or something? Like something stupid? I'm not drafting him there.
I'm not drafting him there either. But the receivers, I'm not targeting any of them, honestly.
You don't even want Keenan Allen?
Mm-mm.
Hunter Henry, none of them?
Hunter Henry, I just cannot stay.
I'm just not buying into that offense. Like, I'm probably not even going to end up with Eckler either, to be honest. Yeah. Like, I'll probably just fade the entire offense, like let someone else deal with that headache.
We talked about the guy last year. I just want Mike Williams. Like, free Mike Williams. Just get him out of there. Like, I believe in the guy's talent.
He gets hurt all the time. What do you mean free him?
Free him. Philip Rivers never throws him the deep ball. He's just checking down to Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry and Eckler. Like, when he gives him a chance, he high points the ball. Like, Mike Williams, go get it.
Bottom line, I'm not drafting any Chargers.
Probably not either. I'm not targeting any of them, honestly.
Yeah, that's gonna wrap up this one. AFC West broken down for you guys. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications. So these will be every week. We'll do 2 divisions, roll the videos out, roll the podcast out. Follow us on Facebook too. So we'll post a link there to the podcast. Spotify is where we'll be uploading it. Mainly, we're going to try to start the YouTube channel. I'm excited for that.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'll have to come up with some graphics and all that, but it's all new. Enjoy the ride with us. Thanks for watching, guys.